Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Carol Distel, and welcome to Discover Manufacturing Week. We have four presenters here, or four manufacturers here to talk to you about what they do. Before we do that, though, we'll have a few questions or a few things for you to remember. So all of our panelists will be going first and doing their presentations, and then following, we'll be taking questions. So you can put your questions in the question box, and then we'll be looking into that and answering those afterwards. I also want to introduce Jerry Hill. He is going to be co-hosting this with me. And we also have Kirsten Schulte. So she's going to be off screen or on screen and off screen taking care of our videos and presentations. So with that said, I also want to let you know that with regards to putting your questions in the question box, we will be letting you know that we are offering gift cards, two $25 gift cards to students who ask questions. We randomly chosen after this webinar. So even if your question is not answered, we will be putting you into that. As well, following the webinar, there will be a survey for you to take. So please let us know how we did. And again, students will be incentivized. If you do submit a survey, you will be put into a pool for some gift cards. If you are watching this as a classroom, then we'll just have your teachers give you your survey and you can fill it out that way. So with that said, I would like to begin with somebody I can see who's a big Michigan State fan over there, Mr. Steve Sims from the Haworth. Good afternoon. How are you today?
Hi, Carol. I'm great. Thank you. Hello,
Good.
everyone. My name is Steve Sims, and I work for a company called Haworth. Haworth is a family-owned business. We've been in business for over 70 years. We manufacture office furniture, so anything from chairs to desks to steel filing cabinets, those sorts of things. We have two plants in Big Rapids, Michigan. One is a steel plant. To put that in context, the steel plant makes about 1,800 storage boxes a day, so those filing cabinets. Every day we're cranking out about 1,800 of them. We also have a wood plant that makes a high-end executive wood office furniture. Haworth is a global company. We have plants in Germany, Spain, Italy, China, India, so all over the globe. So Kirsten, if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and roll that video and we'll talk some more when it's done.
Welcome to the Haworth Steel Components Plant, located in Big Rapids, Michigan. We specialize in manufacturing steel office furniture. The process starts with steel of all shapes and sizes. In many instances, we use automation to form the steel into the parts we need for our finished product. We also have skilled employees, trained to use metal bending equipment to form the steel into many different parts. We utilize teamwork to make the process flow smoother. Many hands make for light work. When the parts are fully formed, they are strategically staged in a location to be placed on our powder paint line. The powder paint process works by applying a powdered paint to electrically charged parts, so the powder sticks to the parts. Then, the parts are heated to over 350 degrees Fahrenheit to allow the powder to cure into a hard coating. After the painting process is completed, teamwork is again used to unload the painted parts from the paint line and introduced to the assembly areas. Every part that goes into one of our office furniture units is assembled by our employees. Our office furniture is truly 100% handmade. Our assembly areas are set up to utilize the technology first made popular by Michigan's very own Henry Ford, the assembly line. Every station of the assembly line process adds a new component to the overall unit. We add locks and tops, side panels and back panels, shelves and rear inserts. Many of the different components go unseen, but are vital to the overall functionality of the finished product. Haworth prides themselves with employing thousands of Michigan residents who help create incredible pieces of office furniture that are sold all over the world.
All right, so there we go. That's a little bit about what we do in the steel plant here. So a little bit about me. I'm the engineering manager here for the Big Rapids facilities. Again, there's 2 of them, and I'm also in charge of the maintenance departments in the plant. I am from Big Rapids, and I graduated Big Rapids High School, well, we'll say a while ago. I've been with Haworth for a little over 20 years. So I want to talk to you today about manufacturing and the careers that are available in manufacturing, specifically about skilled trades jobs. So if you're not familiar with what skilled trades are or what that means, skilled trades folks are the people who keep the equipment in good running order and repair it when it's broken. These people have titles like industrial electricians, mechanical machine repair, and tool setters. These are good paying jobs that are in high demand. There's many ways to become a skilled tradesperson, and it's not something that requires you to have a bachelor's degree from a university. There are companies like Haworth that offer apprenticeships where you can work and learn in the trades while you're taking some classes. And most times that company that you're working for in the apprenticeship will pay for those classes. The classes aren't that difficult, but they're very important to the learning so that you can perform the job efficiently and effectively. Depending on what the skilled trades that you're in, whether it be electrical or mechanical, will dictate kind of what kind of classes you have to take, whether it's pneumatics, which is using compressed air to make motion occur, or hydraulics, which is using fluid to compressed fluid to cause motion to occur, or basic electricity and wiring. It usually takes about 4 years to complete the classes in your apprenticeship, but when you're done, you have a job as a skilled tradesperson making anywhere from maybe $23 to $30 an hour. Not too bad in our area. So there's a big shift going on right now in the skilled trades that combines the roles of an electrician with a mechanic, a machine repair person. It's referred to as mechatronics. So as machines are using more and more technology, there's a huge demand for people who understand not just certain aspects of the machine, but are more versed in many aspects of that machine and how it runs and how to repair it, both mechanically and electrically. So for example, that technology, I'm in the process right now of buying a line, a manufacturing line that has 15 robots on it. We need good people not only to run the equipment, but we need people who have the knowledge on how to repair it. People who have good basic understandings of how robots perform their tasks electronically, but also the mechanical parts of what the robot's doing. That robot may be welding, it may be installing parts into assembly, many different things. A lot of the traditional skilled trades people that are performing the jobs now, well, they're looking to retire in next 5 to 10 years. A lot of them will be in retirement. So there is now, and there will be very soon coming up, an enormous demand for people who have learned those necessary skills to fill these roles. And just for the record, ladies, you can perform these jobs just as well as men. Don't think that just because these jobs have been historically a man's role that these jobs are not for you. So as a parting thought, if you remember nothing else of what I've said today, please remember this. The important part is that Michigan State beat U of M in the Big House this year. Go green. So there you go. Back to you, Carol.
Steve, you are definitely off my Christmas list. Go blue. So I brought this just for you.
Wow.
I hope
Did you find it on the road?
Word that you said. So, thank you. Nicely done, Steve, even if you are a State fan.
Even if.
Brad, Kurt, we're looking forward to hearing about Webb Chemical. Good afternoon. How are you guys?
Great, thank you, and great job, Steve. Learned a lot there. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. My name is Brad Hillary.
And my name is Kurt Schultens.
And we are glad that you are willing to listen to us for the next couple minutes, talk about Webb Chemical Service Corporation. That's right. We're a service corporation, not a manufacturer. So how are we here in front of you today? Well, in addition to being a service company, we are a distributor of commodity chemicals. I have a sign behind me right here talking about being a responsible distributor. And about 90 to 94% of all manufacturers use what we sell, whether that be a service or the chemical itself. So where are we? We're located in Muskegon Heights, Michigan. That is our main location. And we're also located in Fort Wayne, Indiana. To give you some idea, some perspective of what we do, last year we sold and delivered over 200 million pounds of chemical. And that's about 4 million pounds a week. And we didn't do that because we had the best price. We did that because we had the best people. What makes Webb Chemical special and successful in the marketplace is that service that's in our name, but it's the service provided by our people. Now, we've been around for about 55 years and are really looking forward to the next opportunities that are presenting themselves in our geography. We primarily sell into Michigan, Indiana, and Ohio, but we do have customers in over 40 of the 50 states and actually sell a little bit of product down into Mexico. Now, you might be interested in what it takes or what kind of jobs are available at a chemical distributor in Muskegon Heights, Michigan. So I just want to give you some perspective on that. It is a business, so there's a lot of business jobs, things like accounting, customer service, purchasing, human resources. We have our own maintenance department, so we need plant mechanics as well as vehicle mechanics. We do bring in the chemical in a large quantity, and we break that down into smaller package sizes. So we do have chemical handlers who do that. We also then take those packages, inventory them, load them onto trucks, and deliver them into the area. So we have other individuals who are responsible for inventory and shipping, and then our truck drivers. We have our own fleet of trucks. We have our own drivers, over 20, that make deliveries all across this country. We also have safety jobs, quality, technology as far as computer operators, and our supervisors and our managers. There's a lot of different job positions at Webb. Some require no degree, some require an associate's, a bachelor's, and even some jobs that require masters. But the number one thing that we provide is training for each and every employee every month, every year. We make sure that you know the safety and what needs to be done to handle the chemicals in a safe manner. And with that note, I have to put on my hat, which if you can see, has got a little bit of camouflage and orange because this is hunting season begins this weekend. So whether it's you or your parents who are going to go out hunting, I want you to be safe. And now we're going to show you a little video on Webb Chemical.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Webb Chemical Service Corporation. My name is Brad Hillary. I am the CEO and owner, and I'm glad that we get to spend a couple of minutes together where you can learn a little bit about Webb Chemical. We are an independent chemical distributor of commodity chemicals. We actually service 40 of the 50 states and some international customers as well. I stand before this picture of a truck to give you an idea of how we get our product to our customers. We do so primarily on our own equipment with our own drivers. We have over 20 drivers, over 35 tanker trucks, about 14 box trucks, and we deliver all over the United States, but primarily here in Michigan, Indiana, and Ohio. There's over 14 different job functions here at Webb Chemical, from customer service, accounting, sales. We also do chemical transfers, transportation as far as drivers, maintenance, IT, safety, quality, but everyone's number one job is customer service. And the number one skill set that we require or look for in all of our employees is PMA, which stands for positive mental attitude. We can train you to do what we do here, but we need that positive attitude to be successful in how we go to the marketplace. So I'm glad you're here today. Let's go take a look at Webb. I want to talk about why we exist. So this is part of our vision map that we put together a couple of years ago. So everyone that works at Webb Chemical knows why we exist. And we exist to deliver value to the 4 C's: customers, coworkers, communities, and company. Culture is very, very important at Webb, and it's basically why we're as successful as we have been, because of our employees, because of our people. I talked about that positive mental attitude, but it's also because of our culture. So part of our vision map includes our corporate values, and we have 6 of those that ring this benzene ring. They include results-oriented, relationship-focused, integrity, honesty, fun, and safety. And fun is on there because it's very important for us to have fun. Work is work. Sometimes we have to put in long days, but if we can have a little bit of fun, maybe a bowling tournament, parties, and lots of food for employees, it makes the job that much better.
All right, great work, Brad. Thanks for sharing the video of the operations. And thank you to the students for watching the video. When you think of work, fun is usually not the first thing that comes to mind. But at Webb, we do believe that work should be fun. I'm wearing this wig because apparently there's a hat theme. We didn't even talk about the hat theme, but I'm wearing this wig obviously to make a point. When we talk about professionalism, we think about things like respecting coworkers, arriving to work on time, being results-oriented, being relationship-focused, honesty, integrity, safety. Here's the thing. If we can design a workplace where everybody is contributing in these matters, then other matters like how we look or what we think really aren't as important, and that frees us up to have some fun. So many of you are familiar, some of you may not be, with Duke basketball. Okay, we heard Steve say he likes State, and we heard Jerry say he likes Michigan. But Duke basketball has a fan base they call the Cameron Crazies. And it's a name they affectionately call themselves because they literally are some of the craziest fans in the country. Duke is a great basketball team because they're proficient at all of the fundamental skills and professionalism that it takes to be the winningest program in the United States for basketball. As a result, they also have a lot of fun with their teammates and their fans. At Webb, we like to try to do the same thing. Our culture is important, and we understand that as current students like yourselves join the workforce, we want to create an environment that's not just work, but also a vocational journey that provides opportunities to try many different roles. So think about the future, and don't forget to keep having fun. Thank you.
Thank you, Kurt and Brad. Great job. You know, I like the wig. It's the right color. And hey, you know, Brad, your hat's okay too. I would say to you that at least, you know, you're smart enough to wear orange going out into the woods, unlike those Spartan fans. Good afternoon to you. We're interested to hear about Gray & Company.
All right. Well, I am Dawn Riley. I'm the HR manager here at Gray & Company. And Gray & Company was founded in 1908 in Portland, Oregon. Today, more than 100 years later, we are the world's largest producer of maraschino cherries. So if you like your sundaes or your cherries in your 7-Up, we're your company. In the U.S., you can find our cherries in 8 out of every 10 grocery stores. So we are all over. We source our cherries from Michigan, Oregon, Washington, and California, and we import some of our fruit from other countries as well. We have, so Gray & Company has plants in Hart, Michigan, Traverse City, Michigan, and Dayton, Oregon. In 2015, we were purchased by a company called Seneca Foods, and Seneca is North America's leading provider of packaged fruits and vegetables. Now, including the 3 Gray operations, Seneca has 29 facilities across the United States, and one of them is actually home to their own flight operations. Before I turn the mic over to our Director of Cherry Operations, Dirk Williams, I'd like to share a fun fact. Oregon State University is the only university to offer a course devoted completely to maraschino cherries. And now over to you, Dirk.
Hi, my name is Dirk Williams. I'm the Director of Cherry Operations for Gray & Company. We've got a short video to show you, and then we'll talk about job opportunities at Gray.
Hi, and welcome to Gray & Company. We're one of the largest manufacturers of maraschino cherries in the whole world, located right here in Michigan. We do a number of other fruits too, but we specialize in cherries. Today we want to show you some of the key steps in making maraschino cherries and some of the very important people who help us to make them. When we receive the cherries from the farmers, we store them in big tanks like this until we're ready to process them. This tank is full of brine. The brine leaches the color out of the cherries like you see here. We can store the cherries in this brine for a year or more until we're ready to process them. The next step in our process is to size and pit the cherries. These machines pit 26 cherries at a single stroke, and each can pit over 1,000 pounds an hour. That's more than 100,000 cherries per hour. Jen has worked in our processing department for a couple of years and was recently promoted to management. Jen?
After pitting our cherries, our process in tanks. First we wash the brine away, then we add in the color and sugars. We sell cherries in many different sizes and colors and flavors using different sugars, red and green, Bordeaux and black or orange, whatever the customer wants.
Once the cherries are through with processing, they're ready for packaging. The flavors added at this point. Our jars are pasteurized after sealing. We can package and label up to 350 jars a minute. Henry runs our high-speed labeler.
It takes a lot of skills to get the label straight, the codes right, and run the speed. I'm glad I have a strong maintenance crew behind me to support my efforts in keeping me running. We hope you can have many opportunities to enjoy our delicious cherries, whether it's with ice cream in the drink, on cookies, or straight out of the jar.
So we're a manufacturing plant, and many of our jobs are similar to jobs performed in other facilities. We have machine operators, forklift drivers, shipping and receiving functions, quality checkers, etc. What makes our jobs and careers unique is the fact that we're dealing with fruit, and we're producing food for human consumption. So our processes and jobs are both more technically involved with wide variability in our incoming fruit sources, and we have important regulatory compliance oversight to make sure that our finished products are safe to eat. I'd like to highlight today a few of the unique technologies we employ to make our products. The first of these is sweetener infusion. This technology is really the heart of our business. We receive fresh fruit, mostly cherries, during each year's harvest, and we brine it, as you saw in the video, to preserve it until we're ready to process the fruit to fill customer orders. The products we sell have more sugar in them than the fresh fruit naturally contains, and our products are usually brighter in color and have added flavors. All of this must be added to the fruit without damaging it, which is a technical challenge. This addition must be controlled and closely monitored, and the variability of the fruit adds an extra layer of complexity. Our cookroom processing employees are among our highest paid employees. This is the job that Jen, who you just met in our video, performed for us prior to her promotion into management. Second technology we use is X-ray technology. We use X-rays in our operation for a couple of purposes. We use it in our pitting operation to help identify and isolate cherries which still contain pits after having run through our pitting machines. The presence of pits in fruit is our top complaint from customers, so we try to take extra steps to remove them. The second way we use X-ray technology is to try to identify any foreign material in our products after we fill our jars. These X-ray machines are very technical and require close monitoring to ensure accurate results. Both our operators who run these machines and the mechanics who work on them require special training. Third is our color sorting or infrared technology. Color sorting technology is not new to the fruit industry or to Gray & Company as a whole, but it is new to the Hart plant. Like the X-ray machines, these color sorters rely on the interplay of detection technologies and a rejection system to eliminate any product or foreign material from the product stream which does not conform to the operating parameters. In this case, we use infrared lights and sensors to detect differences in color or shape of products and foreign material, and directed air jets to kick out any non-conforming fruit or objects out of the fruit stream. Like the X-rays, these machines require special training to operate and maintain. Fourth, computer and programmable controller automation. We're moving more and more to using programmable controllers throughout our operation to control our processes and throughputs. We have a serious need for more employees, and mechanics in particular, who can work with these controllers to program, troubleshoot, and repair, or just dial in the controls of an operation to optimize performance. Having a basic understanding of the interplay of all the variables in a particular operation, and then understanding how to sort out which variables should be tweaked to improve the overall performance is critical to our success. Key systems or machines in our operation which use programmable controllers are the sweetener infusion, which we've already talked about, pasteurizing, labeling, and this is the job that Henry, who you also met in the presentation, does for us, tray packaging, weigh systems, and metal detectors. We also have programmable controllers working to optimize the performance of such mechanical operations as our air compressors, gas consumption, etc. As Dawn mentioned in her introduction to our company, we're not a sleepy little company in the backwoods of Michigan. We're looking for people excited by rising to meet challenges and continually seeking improvements to our processes. If that sounds exciting to you, please give us a call. Also, since people are using hats so much today, we have really cool hats with Cherry logos on them, Cherry Man logos. So come join Gray and Company and get a hat.
Don and Dirk, great job. Thank you so much. Okay, next we have Dave and Seth. Dave and Seth are from Hamtech. Good afternoon, gentlemen. How are you? Dave, we're unable to hear you. Maybe we'll start with the video, Kirsten, and then we'll come back to Dave when he gets his microphone figured out.
We're here at Hamtech in Big Rapids, Michigan. This is a machine shop that's been around for about 25 years. We specialize in machining goods for different factories and facilities in the area. Anything from replacement tooling to new parts for engine components and things of that nature.
Hamtech's a really diverse shop, so basically whatever the customer decides to bring in, we find a way to make it.
The bulk of our business here at Hamtech is generally making replacement tooling for factories in town. Sometimes that comes with a print, sometimes it comes with just a sample part that they want us to replicate.
What I like most about my job is I get to watch the part go through all the phases of programming and machining. I get to be a part of the process all the way from the beginning to the end.
I came from a career center, so I had a basic knowledge of all the machines, but they're very accommodating. They'll teach you what you need to know as long as you're willing to learn it. They're also putting me through an apprenticeship for machining, which is a 4-year program that I'll come out with a journeyman's card. Basically my apprenticeship, after work, I go to classes. My job pays for it all as long as I keep up a certain grade.
One misconception I had about manufacturing is that it's just day in, day out, same thing every day, 8 hours a day, and it's really not, I guess, depending on where you go. There's always something new, always a new challenge.
A lot of times people say manufacturing's going downhill. From what I've seen, there's more jobs, especially in what we do in machining.
I'm Dave Hamlin. I'm the president of Hamtech. We're a small family-owned business. We're a machine shop, or in lots of terms, a tool and die shop. I have with me Seth Straths, the plant manager, and he represents the new generation that's going to be taking over from people my age. There is a lot of opportunities for young people in this business. It's not a dying business. There is a tremendous amount of opportunities in the next 10 years for folks that like to do things with their hands and like math. One of the ways to try it is robotics. If your school has robotics, I would encourage you to try that, to be part of that group.
And with that, there's a lot of, I'd say, misconception. There's a lot of jobs out there, including ours, that you don't need you need secondary training, but it doesn't need to go through a college. There's a lot of jobs out there in manufacturing where you can get the training that you need through the employer. They'll work with you, they'll get you the training that you need, and a lot of it you can get paid for as you're going through your learning. So instead of going through and accumulating a lot of debt or something you may or may not end up enjoy doing, with this you can try it out. If you like it, then you can keep on going. If you don't like it, no harm, no foul. You can switch to whatever else you want to do. So a little more about what we in particular do is a lot of times factories around will bring in broken components or something that was made 50 years ago that nobody has any documentation on. We'll take that and we will reverse engineer it. We will make computer models of it, and then we will put it onto a machining center and we will make an exact or near exact replica of that part. And it's an invaluable trade. Factories, I'm sure many of the people here can attest to it. Without machine shops and local sourcing, the plants would not be able to function.
Okay, well, thank you. I'm glad you did that. I had to get myself off of mute real quickly. So what we will do now, yes, it's Friday afternoon. What are you going to do with this? So we'll figure it all out. So I am going to start with questions and answers, and I think Jerry and I are going to go back and forth. So Steve, I promised you before, so we have a lot of questions here. So we're going to try to go through this quick. But one of the first ones that came in is, what attracted you to go to work at Haworth?
What attracted me to Haworth is I'm from Big Rapids. It's an excellent place to be employed because it's a family-owned business. It's you're not just a number on a piece of paper for the size of this organization. We will see the Haworth stop in occasionally just to say hi, and that's pretty darn cool. Not to mention, I think Haworth does a really good job of sharing their profits. We have bonus programs that all the members receive based on how we perform. So they do a good job of giving back. Not to mention, there is one thing about Haworth that sets us different from a lot of companies, is that nothing from Haworth globally goes to landfill. So one of our core values is the environment. Therefore, we recycle all of our waste. Any waste that doesn't have a recycle stream, Haworth pays to have it burn for waste to energy. So nothing goes to landfill.
Dirk and Dawn, next question for you. We have lots of questions from our students about cherries. So how many cherries do you produce and ship in a day?
Well, if we don't have that one, we'll wait for him to get off mute here, and we're going to talk to Brad. Actually, Kurt, let's take this to you because you're the one who had the fun hat on too. So you talked a little bit in your video about having fun and some of the things that you do. Tell me, how has it been with, unfortunately, I'm going to bring up COVID, that ugly word, but trying to have fun when it's we have to stay away from each other?
I think that's a great question. And before I answer it, I just want to say I am thoroughly enjoying the question and answer chat that goes along with this, and seeing all of the great questions that various students are posing and being able to reply to them. So if you're a student, keep those coming. But with regard to how COVID is affecting fun and culture, we at Webb really believe that humans are meant to be pack animals. We are meant to be together, to work collaboratively. And as all of us know, when we ended up quarantining starting in March and going through June, it takes a lot, it generates a lot of anxiety for individuals. And I think that's because individuals, students, parents, teachers, we really thrive by having a purpose. And so it's incumbent on us to find a purpose regardless of where we're at. And that's one of the real benefits of a good job that you enjoy can provide for you, is it gives you a purpose, it gives you a community, it gives you teammates. And, while we love to be shoulder to shoulder and work together, even conversations like this, where I can see Dawn's smiling face and I can see Steve's smiling face, and and Carol's smiling face, right? We just thrive off of that energy, and it gives us purpose, and it makes us realize that what we do is more than just package and sell chemicals, right? It contributes to human flourishing. It contributes to productivity. It contributes to the creation of food, the creation of clothing, televisions, everything that makes our life more enjoyable. That's what we do. And so we can choose to be victims and be negative, or we can choose to really be champions and see what we do and ensure that what we do really contributes to human flourishing.
Well, Carol, I'd add to that one of the things that we find that it creates a lot of fun is delicious food. And so one of the things that Webb did this year was we brought in food trucks. And so we had a food truck in our parking lot where we were able to feed all of our employees, and they could sit outside at picnic tables. We had quarterly employee meetings, but instead of having them in a training room, we rented a tent from Ready Rental and put that up in the parking lot so people could sit outside and social distance and be safe and still be together. Those are a couple things that we did.
Awesome. Thank you both. Jerry, I'll let you take it back to Dirk.
Our students
So the question was
cherries, right? So they want to know how many cherries you produce in a day, and whether you guys have plants in other countries, how many different kinds of cherries you produce. They have lots of questions for you.
okay. We produce about 30 million pounds of cherries a year, which on a daily basis, excluding the weekends, but that would be about 125,000 pounds of cherries a day we produce and ship. We do maraschino cherries, we do glacé cherries, we do pineapple, we do blueberries, we do apples. So lots of different kinds of infused fruits that we run here. We have, as Dawn had indicated at the outset, we have 3 plants currently, 2 here in Michigan, 1 here in Hart is the main processing plant. We also have 1 up in Traverse City area. And then we have a major receiving station out in Oregon where we receive all the West Coast fruit. So we receive fruit from California, Oregon, Washington State, and about half of our fruit is purchased here in Michigan.
Thanks, Dirk. That was helpful. Appreciate it.
My next question is for Seth. Seth, tell me, what do you like about your job? What gets you excited?
I guess what I kind of like most about my job is the variety. It's never usually the same thing 2 days in a row with it. And the kind of the challenge of it, a lot of it is you have a job to do and you kind of have to figure out the best, most economic way to get it done, both to help out the customer on their end so it's not as expensive as it could be maybe elsewhere, and also for internally for the shop itself is getting the process done, get it out there so that way you can work on the next thing and get the next thing going. And maybe I don't think I said this earlier. We do have, as you saw in the video, there's quite a few young people working here that go through. Everyone here has been through the Career Center, our local Career Center, in a machining course, and that's all the schooling that you really need in order to get started into this field. There's definitely secondary things that you can go into. I mean, you can go to college for this kind of stuff, but really going out and getting a job in it, the employers will teach you what you need to know. And if nothing else, I think that the kids their age should really just be focusing on, it may sound like something that you want to do, but you should really go out there and try it for a little while before you decide you want to do a 4-year degree in learning about something, to kind of make sure it's something that you are interested in doing.
Thank you very much.
If you're still speaking to me, I have a question for you.
We'll
Doesn't
see.
have anything, it doesn't have anything to do with Spartan intelligence. So our students want to know about pay progression in manufacturing. So can you talk a little bit about when you start manufacturing, maybe some of the positions that you start at, how they pay, how you progress, how that goes, to different levels in your career all the way up to professional?
Sure. So on the production floor, we have what we refer to as general assemblers. That's kind of the entry level position in the plant in our assembly departments. And depending on which shift they're working on, third shift, the night shift, if you will, makes $1 more than the day shift, just to make it worth people's while to work that third shift, because we work pretty much around the clock here in the steel plant. So a general assembler is going to start out at about $15 to $16 an hour. And then we have machine operators. And depending on their level of experience, they're going to be around $19 to $21 an hour. And a lot of our general laborers start in our assembly departments, but then they will progress to become machine operators as they learn other operations in the plant. And then, long-term machine operators, they will progress, as will the general assemblers, just at a lower level. But the machine operators will progress up and probably max out around $26 an hour or so. And then in the maintenance departments, if you're just a brand new maintenance person without a lot of experience, you're going to come in at probably about $23 an hour. And then after probably, you'll get step pay increases every 6 months for about 5 years. So after about 5 years, you're going to top out in the $27 range, depending whether you're electrician or mechanic or whatever the case might be. And those are straight time hours. That's not counting overtime. When you work more than 40 hours a week, you get paid time and a half. So that's one and a half times your base salary.
Thank you. For some of the students that aren't very familiar with the positions, can you explain a little bit what a machine operator does in your company and what an assembler does in your company? Perhaps what some of the general duties of a maintenance person are? I think that'd be helpful for them to understand.
Yep. If you saw in the video where the folks with the basically the screw guns in their hands, and they were physically attaching the panels to one another to make the metal box final assemblies, those are our general assemblers. Those are the folks that are just assembling the product. Our machine operators are the ones that are painting the product. They're running the machines that are bending the metal. Those sorts of things where they need to have a higher level of understanding and skills to be able to operate those sophisticated machines appropriately. And then skilled trades, they're the folks that are going to be fixing the machines, because it is manufacturing and things break. So when a machine doesn't operate properly, depending on what the problem is, an electrician might go out to the machine and figure out why it's not operating appropriately and repair it. If something breaks mechanically, metal piece on the machine breaks or a bearing wears out in it, a mechanic is going to go out there and they're going to replace that bearing and get the machine running as quickly as possible again.
All right. Dawn, are you able to, there you go. All right, awesome. So my question is similar. What are some of the entry-level jobs that you have available at Gray & Company?
So we do have our entry-level jobs. Our base entry-level would be like sorting cherries or packing product into boxes. And those start out at $13.20 an hour. And then we have more of our technical jobs, quality control, the machine operators that Dirk talked about. Those ranges are $15 to $18 an hour. And then you get into our maintenance operators, and those, somebody coming in, like Steve mentioned, that don't have a lot of experience, they come in as an apprentice. They start out at $17.50 an hour, and then they go up to $22 an hour.
Okay, one other question I have for you too. How old do you have to be to start at Gray & Company?
We require 18, just because there's so many moving parts, machines, and everything else in forklifts. So.
Okay, thank you.
Brad, there's multiple ways to get involved in manufacturing, right? We've talked about starting in an entry-level position and kind of working your way up. or going to college first and earning a degree and joining the business that way. How would you advise a young person that wants to get involved with manufacturing to go about it and maybe the best path for them?
What they're doing right now today is one of those for sure. Learning about the companies that are in the community, talking to employers, even if it's just to get an idea of what job positions that they have. You know, Webb Chemical, as well as a lot of other companies in West Michigan, do tuition reimbursement for their employees. Not everybody does, but a lot of them do, and we do that. We have paid for a number of associate's degrees and bachelor's degrees, and in some cases, even a couple of master's degrees of people who are already here working and want to advance in the organization. So, you know, Kurt mentioned the term journey, and that is exactly what this is. There's no anticipation that the first job that you get is going to be your last job. And so take that step, take that opportunity to get an opportunity, learn, but also just ask what other companies do. Almost every business owner in the community is more than willing to share. And so whether it be the student themselves or have their teachers reach out to some of the organizations and just ask for people to give comments on what their businesses do. There's a lot of opportunities in West Michigan.
I'm just going to go piggyback on that, Brad, too. Or do you have other entry-level jobs, like you mentioned, for people out of high school, or do most of your people need a associate's or bachelor's degree?
It's really a mix, although I would say I think the youngest employee we've had in the last couple of years was 19, who had been out of high school for a year, had done some construction work, and then came to work for us as a forklift operator. For Webb, that's starting pay at $14 an hour, and then $1 an hour premium for second or third shift, similar to some others that have been on the call. And then from there, they typically train and learn how to become a chemical handler where they actually transfer the chemicals. That's $2 an hour more in pay. Recently, we had one of those individuals then go on and become a truck driver, which is another $2 an hour premium per pay. So it really is an opportunity. Once you get in, you can make your way up in the organization.
Okay, thank you. I have a question for Dave, too. What do you look for when you're looking to hire somebody? What are you looking for?
We're looking for somebody that honestly wants to work, that's willing to show up and work. I can't say anything that's very important. That is not as easy to find these days as we should be able to. Everything else, any one of us here could teach you what you need to know about our businesses. But you need to be able to show up on time and be able to work, be dressed, ready for it, and honestly leave attitudes at home. We need people that like to work together, and from there, it's really simple. I mean, any of these companies will teach you what you need to know if you know how to work when you come in the door.
Thank you. Students, what you can't see is we have lots of nodding heads here from all of our panelists who agree with what Dave just said. So showing up and just being enthusiastic about learning is one of the big keys, I think, that take away. So Jerry, I'll let you go next.
My next question is for Don. Can you talk to our students a little bit about some of the support positions other than being on the plant floor and things like that you may have in accounting or marketing or some of the other areas that maybe most people don't think about when they think about manufacturing?
Sure, we do. We do have a lot of positions. So, you know, the bulk of our positions are out on the floor, but we have salespeople that are across the United States. We have accounting, we have HR, payroll, production clerks. We have a lot of office positions. You know, we have supply chain manager, purchasing. Dirk, let me know if I'm missing any, but pardon me?
Customer service, taking orders, interacting with the customers.
Yeah, and so we also have supervisory positions, which you know are out on the plant floor, but they're not necessarily doing the plant work. They're providing oversight as well. So.
Okay, how has it been? I mean, everybody has to also been under COVID issues and COVID. So how has it been working through lots of limitations? I'll let Steve take this one.
Yeah, certainly that has added definite complications every day. And as most folks are aware in Michigan, you know, it's a tough time right now where we have plenty of folks who are worried. We do things like 3 times a day. We have a cleaning service go through with a Clorox 360 machine, and they spray down our work centers just so that we're sure that we're sterilizing them the best we can. We only have a certain number of people in our cafeteria at the same time. Only 2 people can sit at a table. You know, we've learned how to use Microsoft Teams very effectively, and we still do have office folks who are working from home. But clearly, as an office furniture manufacturer, we're looking to get folks back in the office as soon as possible. So, but it is changing the way businesses are looking at how their office people work, and so we'll adapt to that and continue to move forward. But certainly, it's a challenge, but we're getting through it. We're getting through it.
All right, thank you.
Brad, my next question is for you. Hoping that you might speak a little bit to our students about why manufacturing matters in their community and what the economic impact of it is and why it's important, right? Students, we hear all the time, I'm not interested in manufacturing. Why should they be?
I think historically people have thought of manufacturing as a dirty job. It is not today. In order to be successful and to keep the doors open and to meet the requirements of all the government agencies that are out there, we have to have really clean shops. And actually, you're more efficient when you have a clean shop. And so the fact that manufacturing historically and even today continues to have really good paying jobs, they're local. And I've seen a number of the questions from the students on how much pay, what's the work schedule like. You know, most of these jobs are 40-hour a week. Sometimes you work a little bit of overtime depending on busy seasons, 40 to 50 hours. But you can be home every night. You can be with your family on the weekends. Most companies have holidays that are off. Sometimes you might have to work one of them or 2 of them, but you get all the other holidays off. And so it really is important to the economy overall. And one of the things that maybe you guys have heard, I'm not even going to get into politics, but on some of the political ads is we need to have more manufacturing here in America. And that is true. We lost a lot, but a lot has come back. And I'm very confident that it will continue to come back. And it will because of the comment that I made, that why we're successful is because of our people. I think the best employees of the world live right here in this country. And when we have the opportunities to build things here and buy local and keep it here, we're going to all be more successful. So it's a great place and great part of the economy to be involved in. Thanks for asking.
Thank you, Brad. I couldn't have said it better myself, and we sure appreciate certainly your participation. Carol, I think we're going to give you a few minutes to wrap up here.
I was just going to say, I think on that note, that was a great way to wrap it up. So thank you, Brad. I appreciate that. So students, thank you for joining us today. As I mentioned, once you close off of this webinar, there will be a survey for you to take. So please let us know how we did. Send that back and you'll be put into a pool to earn some gift cards as well. If there's anybody there who is a senior out there in high school, we do have information about our scholarship program. So please take a look at that. As well, we also will be having this webinar and all of our webinars on our YouTube channel. It's Discover Manufacturing, so look for that to learn about these companies a little bit more or to learn about other companies. So thank you for joining us. Oh wait, and then since we were all having a lot of fun, I think I might, can you see this? There you go. All right, we figure I echo in here, so it's a little bit, but have a wonderful weekend, students. Panelists, thank you so much. I'm glad we had some fun with our hats and everything, and take care. Bye-bye.
Go green.
Bye.
Bye-bye.